MMC Pediatrics, we're more than just doctors.
We're partners in your parenting journey.
Here for every growth spurt, for every boo-boo, every fever, and every flu.
Our team approach means that your child always sees someone that knows them.
We are MMC Pediatrics.
We are right beside you
every step of the way.
Broadcasting to every nook and cranny of Rutherford County's 618 square miles. FM 100.5, 101.9, and AM 1450. We're the Good Neighbor Network. FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM 100.5 Smyrna. Audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. Tennessee Association of Broadcasters Award winner for Best Local Talk Show. A look at the news, views, politics, sports, and people shaping Rutherford County.
Morning, Bill Kraus here at the WGNS Radio Roundtable on a Thursday morning. We are very fortunate, very pleased, and very, very delighted to have with us this morning as our visitor, our congressman serving this area, Congressman Scott DesJarlais. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Dr. Kraus.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. As I think you probably heard, I had knee replacement and going through the physical therapy and doing really well with it.
That's why I asked. So you're doing great. Boy, you got to keep those knees straight in Congress, right?
That's right.
So
there's some high kicking sometimes.
What do you have to share? There's so much coming out of D.C. You know, I don't know whether in a few minutes we could cap it all, but if you would identify 5 of the most important things that you see, not only as a congressman, but as a representative of Rutherford County and the surrounding counties, what are some of the things on the current, it's almost day to day, as well as the horizon?
Yeah, well, you're right. I don't know if we can do that in 2 hours, but
well,
certainly
actually,
items.
If you don't mind, I would love to, after we get through the elections, midterm elections, just have a good full course visit with you, the 1 hour, and just really have our people get to know even better our fine congressman.
Yeah, well, we'll try to make that happen. Certainly front burner issues right now. What's going on in terms of national security and what's going on in the Middle East and around the world. We have 4 major adversaries in order of threat. I would say that would be China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. And there seems to be activity going on in all 4 of those areas. I am the Strategic Forces Subcommittee Chairman, so I have the responsibility for Golden Dome, nuclear modernization, Department of Energy, the new Sentinel missiles, missile defense, hypersonic defense, directed energy, and everything space, satellite, anti-satellite. So it's a really busy and exciting time as we try to keep pace with China, and so that keeps me really busy. Also, as you or many of you know, I serve on the Ag Committee, and we got our Farm Bill passed out of our committee and out of the House, and it's in the hands of the Senate now, and I hope they don't slow play it, and sometimes that happens in an election year because they want to see how it turns out. And we haven't passed a farm bill since 2018, but farmers are struggling with input cost, and some of these tariffs are creating problems in terms of markets, and so the ag community is hurting, and we're trying to fix that. There's a real issue with affordability. We all feel it, whether it's at the pump or in the grocery stores, or younger people trying to buy a first home, or heck, older people trying to buy a home.
Yes.
They're just everything is really expensive, and we need to work on that. And let's see, you said 5. There's been a lot of talk about voter integrity, and it's interesting that 70+% of America thinks that you should show an ID and prove that you're an American citizen to vote. We do that here in Tennessee, and a lot of other states do, but a lot of them don't, and that's been kind of a hot button issue here lately as well. So I'll take a breath and see if you want to refocus me somewhere.
No, you've done excellent. In fact, I guess I always ask the question for a gentleman like you, how do you and your staff keep up with the, I won't say day by day, second by second by second changes? And you start the morning thinking this is your agenda of activity, and by the time of the evening hour, it's totally changed.
Right. Yeah. Rarely does a schedule that you look at in the morning stay the same by the end of the day. So many things change. But I'm blessed to have really good staff, and that's key. We have great staff in Washington. We have a great team right there in Murfreesboro at the Fountain, and and then we have another office in Winchester. So they've changed our districts a little bit, but those folks are on the ball. And if anybody needs help with anything, whether it's Social Security, disability, veterans issues, or really just anything, just reach out to my staff there in D.C. And, we have a team of about 16 people that help me to look good by getting things done for folks that have problems. So, it's funny because they do an awful lot of work, and, I get the credit, but I guess also I get the blame when things don't work out. So that's the way it is.
Well, you get the credit because you had the forethought to hire and maintain and encourage and motivate a great staff, which I totally would agree. Let's take a couple of the issues, and I know highly sensitive, but we've seen in the last 6 months certainly a revolving and evolving world dealing with Iran. Now we see economic effort on Iran versus the fact of military. Do we see a combination, or is all of this getting to the point of November, and once we get past the midterms, then we may see some different policy?
Well, I mean, the world watches what our media puts out, and clearly with an election coming up, they know that economic issues are always big at home, and when people are paying more at the pump or paying for groceries, that's a negative for the party in power. So I think that first of all, no one expected it to last this long, and so often that's the way it goes. You get into a conflict, and the off ramp isn't as clear as it should be. And so I think there's been a lot of promises made. This thing is over. That was back in, it started February 28th. It was going to be over in March. It was going to be over in April. It was going to be over in May, et cetera, et cetera. And so, a little more transparency and clarity of what we're going to do would be helpful. Now, like I said, Iran is probably our third biggest adversary, and they're a threat not just to the Middle East and not just the United States, but their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, has been causing trouble for a lot of people really since 1979, and the threat of them having a nuclear weapon really does frighten me and most people in the region, because I think that they probably would use it. So I don't disagree with degrading their ability to do that. I know some people are getting very weary of this thing being prolonged, and I understand that as well. But, I have the privilege of being in a lot of classified briefings and knowing that taking Iran out of the game, taking them off the chessboard, if you will. It's like taking a bishop off the chessboard. We still have Russia and China, but we all worry about a conflict with China in Taiwan. And so having Iran weakened will certainly help in that situation. We've done some incredible missions as the U.S. military. We've shown some of our cyber capabilities, our electronic warfare capabilities that made Midnight Hammer, Ultimate Resolve in Venezuela, and Epic Fury great successes, and I would hope that would give China and Russia pause in terms of wanting to engage in some type of a conflict with us, and so our military is extremely important. National security is really, to me, the number one issue. Most people say the economy because that's what you feel every day, but if you're sitting in Kyiv, Ukraine, and you're having missiles raining down on you, you probably care less about a gallon of gas or a loaf of bread and more about that your family's going to be alive in the morning. So I think our focus on the military right now is spot on, and recruitment is up, and we have to make sure that we keep pace with China, who has ideas of its own and have had for some time now.
Do you look forward to anything coming out of this visit from the head of China to Washington, actually to the United States next month?
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. The president, I'll give him credit for reaching out to people that a lot of people won't, whether it's Kim Jong-un or President Xi or Vladimir Putin. If you're not talking, then you don't really know what's going on. So do I completely trust any of those people? No, but I think it's better to be having conversations and having it out in the open to, get a better idea of what's going on. But I would like to have good relations or better relationships with all those countries, including North Korea, and none of us wants to get in a fight. I have a son that flies the C-130J that refuels the F-35s. You know, he could be deployed at any time, and I prefer for that not to happen.
Well, you know what is so, and I've been a political scientist all my life, teaching it so many years, serving as a city manager for 25 years, and I see the complexity of issue and how many issues and the complexity of each one can the general American public take. You know, it's almost like going to a buffet line, and there's so many different varieties and qualities of food on that buffet table, you don't know which to select and which to prioritize. And I take a look at the Middle East, and I begin to say with the Middle East, not only is it to stop Iran from developing and implementing a nuclear bomb program, the whole relationship between the United States and the other Middle Eastern nations has dramatically changed during that period of time. So the positives are coming out of this. Comment, though, yesterday or the day before with the change in nature of tariffs with Canada, and that has some impact on us.
It does, and I'm glad you brought up the Middle East because, you know, Iran and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and other OPEC countries coexisted, and now, you know, they've been under attack, and it gives me hope that the Abraham Accord could be signed. You know, there seems to be a little bit of coalescing there among countries that traditionally didn't get along, and that would be a big win if we could come out of there with a more stable Middle East. We see things happening in Syria, things happening in Lebanon, and other hot spots that they're pretty much, you could blindfold yourself and just point somewhere in the Middle East, and there'd be a conflict to talk about. So I think that, you know, we could really come out of this in good shape if we could build a coalition. That frustrates me that we have not done a better job. And that some of our allies, whether it's NATO allies in Europe or even South Korea or some of the others, you know, they certainly like it when we're there for them and we have troops there in their countries and we're providing them arms. But, you know, when we get into conflict that definitely has impact on them as well, it's a little disappointing that they haven't engaged, because a coalition always works better than just one or two countries. And so, you know, I'd like to see that happen as well. But now, are you still teaching, Doctor? Or are you
yes. Oh, yes. No. To me, I'm out at Motlow, at Smyrna, and at Columbia down in Franklin. And to me, it is such a mission to meet with young men and young women and specifically have them discover who we are as a nation. And we are such a wonderful nation and such history and such traditions. And it isn't just a part of saying we're good regardless, but I like to compare us with a great marriage. You love your wife, but yet, on the other hand, you can spend time criticizing this, and this. And I'm saying less criticism, more love.
That sounds good. Well, I didn't know my daughter's studying political science at MTSU, and I don't know that she's a sophomore, but I don't think she's had you as a professor yet.
I'm not at MTSU right now, but I used to be, and it's a great faculty there.
I knew you had been.
A great program and so forth.
She loves this great school.
Comment on the news today that the national debt went over the $40 trillion.
Oh gosh, it's mind-numbing. Honestly, when I first ran, I think it was around 11 or 12 trillion, and you know, somehow this has got to stop. But you hear things like Social Security is going to be insolvent by 2032. You know, we have increase in Medicare, and you have people saying, well, let's have Medicare for all, and you know, somewhere, you know, there's got to be more revenue, and I think getting more people in the workforce and paying taxes would be a good start. But obviously, it's a spending problem too. You can make more money or you can spend less money, but we don't seem to be doing either one of those things. And it's an issue that just seems to be rolling down a hill and picking up steam. And it doesn't matter whether you've been in the majority or the minority. It just keeps sticking upward, and something's got to give at some point.
Well, the data that I like to look at is the ratio, the relationship between the national debt and the total value of the United States. It's almost like one's personal financial sheet, that you may have greater debt, but your value and your assets have increased also. So I'm not so sure what the relationship is between our debt and our total value.
Yeah, we have the highest GDP in the world, and I think that's we're China's second and Germany's third. But yeah, we have a lot of assets. I agree, and we're not going broke. We haven't been downgraded, but like I said, there's a point of probably diminishing return when you start paying so much in interest on the debt. Anyone that's been in debt or overwhelmed by debt understands that. But you're right. We would have to look at those numbers together and look at our assets and liabilities, and that would be a better barometer of where we're at than just saying 40 trillion.
I promised that you would be through at 9:20, and I always am a person of promise. So if you were to conclude and you had a magic wand to make the future great, this is a big one, what would you use your magic wand on?
Well, I think right now, considering my position in armed services, it would be to conclude this conflict in the Middle East, get the Abraham Accord assigned, build a better relationship with China, get these tariffs straightened out, bring manufacturing back, increase jobs. Tennessee's done a phenomenal job of bringing in businesses and workers, and you make all those things happen, and then I see us becoming more prosperous.
Congressman, it is great, and I am going to get back to your staff too when things slow down after the mid-year elections, midterm elections, and into the holidays, to have you back for a longer chat because you have so much to offer. You've been a great representative of this community, and like to know some of your philosophy and some of your insights. Thank you again, Congressman DesJarlais, and may you and yours continue to do well.
Thank you, Dr. Kraus. I appreciate you having me on. We'll work on a longer time slot.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to your child's health,
You want care that's close, convenient,
And centered around the needs of your family.
At MMC Pediatrics, we're more than just doctors.
We're partners in your parenting journey.
here for every growth spurt,
for every boo-boo.
every fever, and every flu.
Our team approach means that your child always sees someone that knows them.
We are MMC Pediatrics.
We are right beside you.
Every step of the way.
Well, yeah, I'll be right there.
It takes all of us to power a community, both in plain sight and behind the scenes. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
At Learning Zone, our teachers are education engineers, building up eager learners with any CPA-accredited STEAM learning. We're now accepting fall enrollments for infants through pre-K and have a special offer valid through August 30th for new families. Classes are filling up fast, so book your tour right away. Contact Learning Zone at 615-695-1667. That's 615-695-1667.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad. My name is Pat, and we are very real clients of the law offices of John Day.
We called the law office of John Day. They came to our rescue and took care of us, and we are very happy with them.
Injured by a big truck?
trust the law offices of John Day.
I was seriously injured in a car accident, and I would highly recommend the law offices of John Day because they're amazing and they will come through for you.
The law offices of John Day. Call for your free consultation.
Now, Good Neighbor Events. Here's Bart Walker.
The NAACP Murfreesboro branch is honored to host the 2026 Freedom Fund Gala. It's at 6 o'clock this Saturday night. It will be in the MTSU Student Union Ballroom, the NAACP Freedom Fund Gala. And this year's theme, Rooted in Resilience, Blooming Beyond Barriers. For more information, get in touch with the Murfreesboro NAACP. The Rutherford County Library System is offering free computer classes. To learn more about those free computer classes, drop by your nearest Rutherford County Library branch or call the Technology Engagement Center on Minerva Drive in Murfreesboro. Are you new to town and possibly want to learn more about your new community? The Rutherford County Historical Society is giving you a great opportunity this Saturday. Drop in to the one-room Ransom Schoolhouse anytime this Saturday between 9 in the morning and noon. The Ransom Schoolhouse is at 717 North Academy Street. It's all free. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
Slight chance of thunderstorms today, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 93. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Right now, it's 72 degrees.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Since 1936, MTE has provided the reliable service and peace of mind we count on. Manage your account anytime at MTE.com or through the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Bill Kraus, we're back with another guest, a gentleman that is very, very significant in the lives of all, our county tax assessor, Mr. Rob Mitchell. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Dr. Kraus. How are you?
Great to have you back. I got to tell you a story, though, before we ask you a question.
Sure.
And I'm probably going to sound crazy to many of you, nuts to the rest of you, but I got to share with you a true experience with the county tax assessor. I, like so many, received the notice a few weeks back of reassessments, which is a regular process of your office. And the reassessment was significantly higher than the current norm. So I, like so many, made the arrangements to appear before your group for an appeal to attempt to reduce the amount. I had done that before, and I have to say publicly, it was one of the most outstanding public service events and activities that I had been to. Courteous, stress-free, nice, just good. So I made the appeal, made the appointment, and then I did my research to see just how far out was the values given on a number of properties that I own in Rutherford County. And as I did my value assessment, I found that the county assessor's office was right on target on the new values. And realizing that this county and this part of Tennessee is not only fast growing, it's fast value growing, just because A, many people want to come here, and two, we're highly competitive with our neighboring counties in value of property and value of homes, specifically Davidson and Williamson. So at the last moment I decided, no, the county assessor's office did the right thing. They valued the property as they're supposed to in accordance with current values of comparable properties. So I canceled my appeal, and I will take a look at a higher tax bill, perhaps. Although you may want to comment on the story that just was one of our lead stories at our news earlier today.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. We do have a very excellent county board. We have folks that are appointed by the county commission to serve. They're not part of my office. We assist them in getting the technical information, and then they take their positions very seriously.
Yep.
And actually listen to the information that's presented and make determinations on what they think would be appropriate for the market and for the individual given on the community. It's a process that now it's been said that, well, had a news reporter call up and they were discussing values in Davidson County and the number of appeals that they had in Davidson County on their property values. And the question that I was asked was, are they having an unusual amount of corrections? And I said, no, you want to have corrections. I said, if you remember the old analog television sets.
I do.
When you would tune it in to a station, they then had a knob at the back that was a fine tuning knob that you would basically get it very close, and then you could fine tune the channel in to get the best reception you possibly could. And that's exactly what the county board process is. We do mass appraisal, so we will do a scatter shot and we'll try to get it close with everybody, because we don't fee appraise every single individual property. We do it as a group. Now, any one individual property inside of that may be a little high off of the median, may be a little low, some may be right on it, as yours apparently was. But if somebody thinks mine's a little bit high, come into the board. Present your information. The board will look at it and say, well, it may be a little bit high. We'll bring it down. And they did that on many, many of them. And that's a good thing. That's what we want to happen. Now, they can bring something up. I don't know that they ever have. But in the adjustment process, when you open an appeal, they can make a decision as to whether or not they believe the value that the assessor's office placed on it was too high or too low, and they can adjust that to where it is in an area that they believe is equitable. And if any individual doesn't like what the county board determined, they can appeal it to the state board. And beyond the state board, if they're unhappy, they can appeal it to Chancery Court, then to the Court of Appeals. And if they're still not satisfied, and if the Supreme Court of the state chooses to hear it, there's even an opportunity to appeal any decision to the Supreme Court in Tennessee. So
I think one of the interesting things is you live in a subdivision. You are so proud of your home. You manicure the lawn, you replant the flowers, you continually repaint. It is the queen and king of your neighborhood. And next door is an identical house in square footage and value, but the people there, I don't want to get too descriptive, but the house is just not what you would call quality. Because you are mass assessment, do you and your neighbor be assessed at the same value? Even though a real estate person may come down and say there's $100,000 difference between the two properties.
We can adjust individual properties based on the actual year that they were built, because one property, even if they're identical, one property may be a year older than a new one, depending on which phase. Now, if it was right next door, it's likely the same. But with my house in my neighborhood, the neighborhood had been in place 20 years before we bought the lot and built our house. So we had less depreciation on the physical structure of our home than all of the other houses in the neighborhood. So it's possible for a house in a neighborhood that may be very similar to the next door neighbors not have the accumulated depreciation on it because it was a newer construction. So it would be valued a little bit higher. Now, fit and condition and accumulated depreciation, that is and can be taken into effect. And if we don't recognize it on the front end and someone brings that to the county board with images look, we had water damage. The floors are out and we're having them replaced. So my property is not worth what you have on it. And in a lot of those cases, we can make that determination if you bring the information to us, because that's something that we didn't know. And we just wanted whatever value we have on it, the condition to reflect exactly what you have. So that short answer, long answer short.
A good answer, though.
Yes,
A very good answer.
We can make those determinations, and we want to. We have about 30 people that cover 130,000 properties.
Wow.
So we do the best we can, and we try to leverage technology as much as we can. But we're rapidly running out of what we can leverage with technology, and it's going to take boots on the ground to do more.
You've been with the county how long?
Since 2012.
Was there a period of time in the early years that Rutherford County was relatively stable? There wasn't significant growth, there wasn't significant increase in valuation, and consequently, did the assessments reflect more of a stability?
We actually saw periods of rapid growth through the 80s and through the 90s. I don't believe there's been a period of time, with the exception of 2006 to 2008 during the Great Recession, that values didn't rapidly increase. Now, coming out of the Great Recession, starting in 2012, our values were relatively more stable. We didn't see as rapid an increase in valuation because it was a recovery period. Since I've been there, probably starting right around COVID and post-COVID, you had a lot of people that were staying in. They were buying, they weren't moving much. They were building bigger houses. People were moving away from large cities, and they were moving to Tennessee because it was less populated than California or New York. So they were migrating.
Much lower tax state.
And we're a lower tax state, which goes to the article that the Beacon Center came out with. It was, and I'm sure I'm sure you're familiar with the article that the Beacon Center put out.
Just had the chance to review it.
I am a data person, so I contacted the Beacon Center, and I asked the gentleman that produced the article, I said, where did you get your information? And he said he cited sources from a report on the Wall Street Journal. So I contacted the Wall Street Journal, and I emailed the author of the report, and I got an email back saying that she was an intern working for the summer and she was back in school, and to please contact someone else. So I contacted someone else at the Wall Street Journal. They emailed me back and they told me that they had used Adam.com, which is an aggregator, as their primary source. So I'm familiar with Adam. But the article said that the property taxes increased faster in Tennessee than any other state. And sometimes you just know numbers aren't right.
Aren't correct, yeah.
So I went to the comptroller's office and I pulled the tax aggregate reports from the comptroller of the Treasury, which is public data. Every community, there are 420 taxing jurisdictions in Tennessee that levy a property tax. They have to report the values and the tax rates to the comptroller of the Treasury annually every year. The comptroller of the Treasury produces a tax aggregate report digest that has all of that information in it. So I took that information, applied the tax rates for every jurisdiction against the assessments, and I measured the change in property taxes between 2021 and 2025. And then I applied the Consumer Price Index to it, because everybody knows that $1 in 2021 does not have the same buying power as $1 in 2025.
Correct.
And I found out that the information that the Beacon Center produced and the Wall Street Journal produced was a little bit, I don't want to say, it was a bit misleading in the way that it was presented. So I put my data together and I sent it back to the Wall Street Journal so that they could review the data sources themselves.
How many hours were you involved in this?
Massive. It took about a day.
Oh, okay.
To leverage it and pull it up. It's not hard to do working with spreadsheets. It just takes time in between calls.
Yes.
And figuring out how you're going to do it. So I put the information together, sent it out, sent the updated data and the analysis to every news station in Middle Tennessee that actually ran the Beacon Center story. And I will tell you, and I'm very proud of this, the award-winning WGNS radio was the only news outlet source that actually published and reported the information in an accurate and informative way without shifting to politics or trying to cover the analysis, because we know the Beacon Center wants tax cap. Right or wrong, I know exactly what they want and the reason for their framing of it that way, and that's fine. I just do the data, and then I want people to make informed decisions based on the data that they're presented with.
So what you're saying is we are not the highest tax rate increase in the United States.
No, the actual per capita tax increase was $1,225 per person in 2021, and it's $1,202 per person. We actually decreased.
Wow.
So that's why it's important to be able to look at the data, understand it, and present it in an accurate manner.
Have you had a response from the Wall Street Journal?
Nope.
You don't expect one?
I don't expect one. I think they'd be a little bit embarrassed if they knew that most news sources have picked up on their story and it was written by an intern.
I'd be curious what school she's going to and what credit she got for the internship. Wow.
So hopefully people will take that and, am I perfect? No, I'm far from it. And there will be times that I may misinterpret data unintentionally. And if I do, bring it to my attention and I'll make a correction on it.
So you've been in this position 14 years.
Yes, sir.
How does the controversy surrounding this position compare with the other 94 assessors in Tennessee?
Oh, well, we all do essentially the same thing.
Correct.
With the one notable exception is I take my oath very seriously. And I am not afraid to stand up and defend the citizens in Rutherford County when I believe that they're being imposed upon. And it doesn't matter if it's the comptroller of the Treasury. It doesn't matter I don't care if it's the governor, if it's the attorney general. If I believe that my citizens, my constituents, are being infringed upon, I will stand up for it. I will fight for it. And that's my position.
Kind of share with me. I know I don't remember even asking you this on your previous visits. You were born and raised where, and how did your value system create even at an early age, and it matured over the years of life?
Oh, well, I mean, I was born in the coalfields, Bluefield, West Virginia. My dad was in the Air Force. He got out of the coalfields, and we moved to Florida. We lived in a trailer, a travel trailer in St. Augustine. And then he took a job with W.T. Grant's and ran Grant department stores in Jacksonville and in Columbus, Georgia. Then we moved back to Bluefield, West Virginia, then to Louisville, Kentucky, then to Cincinnati, Ohio. He went to work for a store chain that is out of business, but it was a precursor to Costco's. It was called Government Employee Stores. Then after that, he went to work for Kroger Family Centers, and we moved to East Tennessee in a little town called Morristown.
Yep.
Then we transferred to East Texas in Marshall and Longview, Texas, and we lived there for about a year and a half. Then we moved to Hagerstown, Maryland, and up in Western Maryland, we went to work for Zayre's department stores, and we lived up there. I went my junior through my freshman through junior, half my junior year of high school up in Western Maryland. Then we moved back to Tennessee when my dad took a job with Service Merchandise in 1974, and we've been here ever since.
Most of the towns that you mentioned were basically had a lot of poverty, a lot of poor people, literally. So a lot of your roots were living in an environment that people valued every dollar they could earn and every dollar they could keep. They were hard-working people, good people. I want to talk more about that, but we got to pay the bills first. Got a commercial or two coming up. Stand by.
When it comes to your child's health,
You want care that's close, convenient,
and centered around the needs of your family.
At MMC Pediatrics, we're more than just doctors.
We're partners in your parenting journey.
here for every growth spurt,
for every boo-boo,
every fever, and every flu.
Our team approach means that your child always sees someone that knows them.
We are MMC Pediatrics.
We are right beside you.
Every step of the way.
What's the location of your emergency? I think my kid OD'd.
Hi, I'm Craig Harris, I'm County Commissioner of Rutherford County. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate. We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem's not going away.
When the weather turns bad, minutes, even seconds matter.
This is an early heads up for southern Rutherford County.
Rutherford Weather brings you live radar and expert meteorologist insight, giving you an early heads up when storms threaten.
A lot of areas are going to see some impacts from this storm.
From analysis to live camera views, we keep you informed before, during, and after the storm.
I think the vast majority of the hail with this is going to be quarter to perhaps golf ball size.
Rutherford Weather. Stay ahead of the storm.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Recall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Recall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Recall take the stress out of insurance? Recall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies like a good old primitive.
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Bill Kraus, third and final segment of the Roundtable, Thursday morning edition, WGNS Radio, the award-winning station. And you said 6 awards Monday night?
Yes.
Wow.
6.
And do you want to at least say the 6?
I don't know if I can remember them all. You've got me choked up.
You had to carry them all out yourself?
I had a little help from my daughter. She was there.
Good.
So Station of the Year was the one.
Wow.
First time ever for that award being bestowed upon anybody from the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters. So Best Local Public Service 2 years in a row. So proud of that one, too.
Fantastic.
Local shows, local sports, all of that. So,
and I'm sure Bart is happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the moon.
43 years of great service.
And the round table, of course, is certainly a big part of that. Was in the Station of the Year entry. All of our local shows were. We kind of went through what a broadcast day sounded like from 5 a.m. until sports at the end of the day.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Rob, back to you. We've just gone through your dad's phenomenal retail world. What got you into where you are today? How did you follow this journey?
Well,
did you happen to walk by the county of Rutherford and said, hey, I'd like to be with them?
Anybody that ever says they know what they're getting into when they ran for property assessor would not be telling the truth.
Correct.
I had an insurance agency for 15 years up in Nashville.
Full line?
Full line personal property.
Mm-hmm.
We did life, casualty, the whole bit. We were a captive agency for shelter insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Did that, loved it. It's all about customer service. Of course, my background was retail. I worked at Service Merchandise, paying my way through college.
Along with your dad.
Worked in the warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and then moved to the jewelry department. After that,
so you were a diamond in the rough.
Oh yeah. I was a Timex watch.
I gotcha.
I took a
Okay.
licking, kept on ticking. Then after that, I went to work for. I took a year off and worked in a business with my dad where we bought bulk canvas, unstretched canvas oil paintings from Hong Kong.
Wow.
And put them on stretcher strips. And I traveled 6 states in a van and hung the paintings on restaurant walls. And they sold them off the walls. It was, you've probably seen the Starving Artist sales.
Yes.
That's exactly what we did. We did that for about a year. Then I went to work for Zales Jewelry. Was the assistant manager at Hickory Hollow. Then after 6 months, I got a promotion, went to and became store manager in Columbia. Was there for a year. Then went back to Service Merchandise and was a buyer. I wanted to learn the buying aspects of it. Then I went back to be manager after about 2.5 years. 3 years, went back to Zales at Hickory Hollow, was manager there. Then went to work for Dillard's and ran their jewelry operation there in the mall for 4 years. Then went to work for a fabric and craft store called Peace Goods. I was district manager for that, for the Nashville area. Then I went to work for Kraft Foods, selling pizza.
Wow. Did you eat a lot of it along the way?
Oh, I ate a lot of it.
What's your favorite topping?
Pepperoni.
Oh, wow.
Just pepperoni. Just plain old pepperoni.
See, I'm the only one you probably know who loves anchovies.
Oh, I love anchovies. I love anchovies and salads. So
Oh, okay.
I'm a big salad
The
eater
original
with anchovies.
Caesar.
And let's see, after that, had a car accident and had a torn aorta and a crushed sternum.
Wow.
And I wasn't able to really work on pizza trucks for a bit of time. So I thought, well, what else can I do? Applied for a position to have my own insurance agency. It was in Nashville, which was fine.
Commute wasn't that bad in those days.
No, it was 50 miles one way from my house to my office door. So I was driving about 100 miles a day round trip.
But it wasn't I-24 stop start.
No, I went the back way.
Okay, gotcha.
I went 840 and then came over through Gladeville, over that way to get there. And then I was asked in 2012 if I wanted to run for property assessor, and I turned them down 3 times, and I thought, well, the worst thing that could happen is I get
You get elected.
Well, no, I never really expected to win, but I thought, well, it's good name recognition for my insurance agency.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, well, it's great advertising. And then I
could be
won.
fun. It could, did you have a wide field of opposition? Or?
I ran against the incumbent, a gentleman named Mr. Bill Boner.
Okay.
And I defeated the incumbent, and I've been there ever since.
And your election's 2 years from now?
2 years away.
Well, now that the primaries are over and go through the mid-year elections in November, you start up the campaign.
Oh, you're always campaigning, but if you do your job right, your record is your campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe wholeheartedly in transparency. We're the only office at any level of county government statewide that actually puts our budget online and updates it on a monthly basis so people can see exactly what our budget is and how much we spent on a monthly basis. I would like it to be more efficient and transparent so you can see exactly what we're spending it on, but county IT doesn't have a program to do that for us yet.
They haven't got the AI onto it yet.
No, they probably will, but
sure.
Currently they don't. And, you know, we've developed something that is called Smart Rutherford.
Mm-hmm.
And Smart Rutherford will allow you to find out by texting it or by talking with a chat bot with it online in any language that you want to use in. It's 180 different languages. It'll even communicate back in Russian Cyrillic if that's how you want to communicate with it. You can ask it what your value is. It will tell you your value. It will tell you what your estimated property taxes are at the new rate, new value, and it will tell you what it was at the old rate last year and the old value. So you can actually tell if you're paying more in property taxes or less. It will actually do it for not only the county, but all the cities. And if you don't like what you see and you think that you're paying too much in taxes, it will tell you who your local county representative is, your county commissioner. It will tell you how to reach them. It will tell you who your county mayor is, who your city mayor is, and their contact information. It will tell you who your school board representative is because it's geolocated. So you can say, who's my school board representative, or where will my child go to school? And it will direct you on how to get to that school and who to contact there. So we've tried to make it an interface with county government to be kind of the welcome wagon for new residents coming to a community. If you have a question that you need an answer to, there needs to be an easy way to communicate, and it needs to be based on a platform that citizens are used to communicating in. More and more they communicate by text. So you can text Smart Rutherford and you can get a response back directly to your phone. We're working on a chat feature where you can actually dial in, similar to Alexa. We had Alexa set up, and then the technology platform went away to interwork. Well, actually, it started with Google. We had it and then Google changed their platform where you used to be able to say, "Hey Google," and it would respond with you on the Google Home, which is kind of like the Alexa, but Google redid their platform for one reason or another, so we had to adapt
exactly
and fall back. But I mean, it's been an exciting and challenging opportunity to serve citizens and to find ways to improve processes and adapt, and that's helping people is what I love to do.
You're a data guy. Let me ask you this, a fairly complex issue looking for a simple response. The criteria for judging property. Is comps, the sale of property, a major ingredient in determining what the value is? If you see a listing of 5 pieces of property similar, geographically close, and there's a median of sales price, does that influence directly?
Oh, that's how we do it.
Okay.
For residential, the cost to replace your replacement, market exchange. What's the value in market exchange? So your comp is in residential property. That's primarily what you look at. So if you have several different homes, if they're all equal, they're all arm's length transactions, willing buyer, willing seller, no outside influences. When we discriminate against those in our sales data packages, we'll go through and we'll say, well, we've researched this and this isn't an arm's length transaction. He actually sold it to his brother, and his brother needed a place to live, and he gave his brother a sweetheart deal. So that's why that one is so much less in the sale price and everything else. We would exclude that, and we wouldn't include that sale as a good qualifying sale for values. In income producing properties like a shopping center or a mall,
office building,
a hotel, we use income approach. So how much your widget is worth is going to be roughly equivalent to how much money your widget can make for you.
Yes, both short-term and long-term.
That's it. So that's taken into account. So
being in the insurance business as you were, how different does the appraised value of a property in Rutherford County compare with what a major insurance company may establish the value of that property primarily to write a policy?
Well, if you're looking at replacement cost to build, the construction cost, we use Marshall, Swift, and Bay as the underlying value determiner.
Sure.
In insurance. That's what is used for construction cost analysis, and that's a lot of times when you're building a new building, that's all you have. If it's a new subdivision, you may not have any good comps for that property, so you'd value it based on how much did the land cost and how much did the improvements cost to put it up. So we use the tools industry-wide are pretty standard, so we can get good numbers on those, and it's very similar. So that was a natural transition.
Sure. And one of the most basic questions that are always asked, and I believe I have a grasp of it, but I'm not totally sure, and we'll make this as the last question. The relationship between the appraised value and the tax rate of a particular entity, and if taxes go down, does the value go? Does the value affect the taxes, or how does it relate to the tax rate set by the city?
Well, sure, and that's a great question. You have the appraised value, which is the market value.
Let's take a number. Let's say $400,000.
Okay, if you have $400,000, it's only if it's a residential property.
Correct, single family.
You're only taxed on $100,000.
25%.
25% of the market value is what you're assessed for tax purposes. So the $100,000, the tax rate is applied to it. Now, in a reappraisal year, say the value goes up to $500,000, you're going to be assessed on 25% of that, but there's going to be a certified tax rate calculated. And the certified tax rate means that when you apply the tax rate to the assessed value, you've got your levy. That's what you're going to pay in taxes. If your value goes up, the certified tax rate is going to drop, so that mathematically you're going to produce the same tax levy. That's why when our values went up after this last reappraisal, the tax rate dropped to $1.48, down from, I think it was $1.80.
So the net check, let's say I write a check out last year for $1,250, and the value has gone up on the reassessment. Do I still write a check for $1,250?
It depends on how far off the median increase. In Rutherford County, the median increase was around 28%. So if the value of the market value of your property went up 30%, you're probably going to expect to pay about 2% more in taxes.
Okay, that's so important to say, because you see the difference of value that came out in the notice. Oh my gosh, my check I got to write next February is going to be out of the world.
And that's the beauty with Smart Rutherford. You can key that in, and it'll tell you if you're going to pay more or less.
Can I argue with it?
Oh, you can,
no, I mean on the program.
Well, no, you can argue. I've never had anybody try to argue with it.
I understand. Well, you know, it's always a pleasure to have you here, Rob. And it's a complex world in terms of value of property. It's a complex world of paying taxes. It's a complex world of the total cost and affordability of owning or renting, because the increase is going to pass down to the resident, no question. So we look forward to having you back later this year for some update, and you are truly a value of Rutherford County. Thank you so much, Rob.
I appreciate that
and we'll
very
see
much.
You.